You see, this is why I like setting these goals for motivation. Some of you know I recently set a goal to do 30 videos over the course of 30 days, and it has forced me to become creative with my content. There was a period of time a few months ago where I started shooting videos breaking down some classic comics, and I recently fell off from those. Some people are not interested in those at all, and others are very so, and they really kept asking me if I'd shoot another. So here we are, more comic videos, and we are continuing my series, Who is Thanos? Remember, if you become a patron over at my Patreon, you actually get a vlog request, which is also covered with comics. So if you have a character or a particular arch that you want me to dive into, head over to patreon.com/EricDJuly for more information, but let's get into it. This used to be a YouTube only video series, but going forward, these videos will be on Facebook as well. So if you're watching this on Facebook and want to watch parts 1 through 6 of the Who is Thanos series, head over to my YouTube page to get caught up on that. Now, unfortunately, my break took place in an awkward spot as we were covering the classic Thanos quest. We did part 1, so now let's dive into part 2. To summarize part 1, Thanos is reincarnated by Mistress Death, who he worships, and he convinces her to allow him to go collect the soul gems, that of which he failed to do previously as he lost to Adam Warlock. He defeats and collects the gems from the In-Betweener, Champion, and the Gardener in part 1. So up until now, he has collected 3 out of the 6 gems. This page here is not only significant to this storyline, but it's significant to know who Thanos is. They let the readers know what is taking place here. That is, Thanos worships Mistress Death, and serving her brought him back to life in a new, stronger body. He is tasked to annihilate half the population, doesn't that sound familiar, in order to achieve cosmic balance, which Death desires. But it's Thanos, so even if he's a servant, he has his own motivations. So, who does Thanos choose to go after next? The Collector. The Collector is this guy. If you've watched the Marvel Cinematic Universe, you know exactly who he is. Thanos at this point is as cocky as ever and straight up calls the Collector and makes sure that he understands that he's coming for that soul gem. The Collector has seen all of this unfold. Now, Thanos claims that because he has worked with the Collector in the past, he does not want to kill him. Instead, he wants to trade something in for possession of the soul gem. However, this is part of a plot to see if the Collector has figured out the true power of the gem that he holds. Thanos tells the Collector that he will get back to him soon, and he figures if the Collector hits him back first with the offer, he will have known exactly how to unlock its power, but the Collector never hits him back. Now, this is all according to his plan, so Thanos decides to go after another gem instead of linking up with the Collector first. He goes after an elder by the name of the Runner. He tracks down the Runner's last coordinates, confused that he didn't see him. Then out of nowhere, Thanos' little ship is blown to bits and he's hanging on to just a small lasting piece of it. As the Runner appears, they start to get into sort of this skirmish, and it appears that Thanos is completely outmatched because the Runner is just entirely too fast. So he gives Thanos an ultimatum. Tell him what he plans to do with the soul gems or get beat to death at super speed. Thanos seems to concede and decides that, he'll tell him everything. Thanos says that he learned of the true power of the gem after gazing into the Infinity Well. The gems used to be a single unit of limitless power, and at the time they were created, there was only one living thing that existed. In other words, a god. This was long before any recorded period of time. So in short, this god ends itself, creates everything that is known now in reality, and the core of this god's might becomes the soul gems. And Thanos claims if he gets a hold of these gems, that he can sit alongside Death as an equal as opposed to a servant. Now, the Runner thinks, well, now I'm going to be the only one that knows this because you're toast. But remember, man, Thanos is a schemer. He reveals to the Runner that he's not simply just running fast when he runs fast. He's actually just subconsciously manipulating space, and this is the reason why he arrives at destinations before he even realized he was heading to it. It's mental teleportation. Remember, at the end of part 1, Thanos collected the gem from the Gardener, which allows him to manipulate time. He uses this to allow the runner to run himself into becoming more than 1,000,000 years old, which makes him powerless. And Thanos just rips the gem right off of his forehead, and instead of leaving him as an old man, he turns him into a baby, and they then head off to see the Collector. Thanos decides to use this as a bargaining chip with the Collector, basically saying he'll trade the baby runner for the gem. He accepts under one condition, that he's left alone during Thanos' quest, and Thanos agrees. The Collector thinks that he's gotten over on this trade, but Thanos reveals to him that the gem can alter reality. He even demonstrates this, and it freaks out the Collector, and he wants to be nowhere near this thing. But as Thanos is leaving to see the Grand Master and collect the final gem, he reveals that it was only a temporary spell placed on the runner. Out of nowhere, the runner turns back into an adult and gets to kicking the Collector's ass because he realizes that he was going to be added to his collection. Now, the Grand Master seems to be a more formidable foe than the others, as he's specifically known for winning and scheming. He's been doing this for thousands of years, and his mind can devise the most complex of tactics. So, of course, he knows that Thanos is coming to see him, and Thanos knows that he knows. Grand Master reveals that the gem he wishes to nab is in the air with the force field around it. If the force field is breached, it will teleport the gem to an unknown location. The transporter will also go off if there is any harm done to his vitals as well. So in short, Thanos has to play this game if he wants this gem, as it is the only way to shut down the teleporter that the gem is in. The game they will be playing, a military exercise set on a mental plane of existence. The kill shot wins, and because Thanos bet all 5 of the gems he has already collected, all 6 gems are essentially at stake. So now it's on, and the two are set to fight, and it is revealed to Thanos that this is more than just a simulator, and the Grand Master lied. It seems that if one takes an actual kill shot here, then they die in reality. Thanos, as evil as he is, says he would have done the same thing. They begin to fight, and because Thanos has been in many different wars, he feels like he got this under control. There becomes a point in time where Grandmaster seems to slip up and is about to lose, but it is then revealed that the Grandmaster is a cheat, and he sabotaged Thanos' weapon system as he was going for a kill shot. Thanos is now covered in some silicon-based fungus, which is then struck by the Grandmaster, which seems to send Thanos into pieces. Grandmaster now states that he was plotting the whole time. He was also studying the power of the soul gems, and the reason he didn't collect them from the other elders is because Thanos was doing the work for him. But this is Thanos we're talking about, and he's a cheat too. We come to find that this version of Thanos was a robot the entire time, and he would have known that had he actually possessed, or had in possession, the stone, because the power allows a doorway into the mind. So it seems that Grandmaster's ego got into the way, but Thanos also says that with the other 5 gems, he could have taken the 6th gem in a bunch of different ways, but this way was far more enjoyable. He gamed the ultimate gamer, and now he has possession all 6 of the soul, aka the infinity gems. He now has the power of mind, soul, reality, time, space, and power. He also references that he has more power than that of even the cosmic cube, which I covered earlier in this series. So after collecting all of the gems, we get a breakdown of the powers from Thanos, as well as some cool art. Here you see Thanos going from a baby to an old man. He says that with the time gem, he can go through any portion of the past and the future and alter anything to fit his specific desires. With the space gem, he can literally change the universe and be everywhere or nowhere depending on what he wants. With the mind gem, he can read minds of every living being. With the power gem, he has infinite power, which backs the might of the other gems. This seems to be more important than the other gems because it can put his thoughts into reality. The soul gem, which was once Adam Warlock's, he has the power to, quote, transform a race of peaceable sentients into a barbaric horde of cannibals. He states that Warlock didn't know the true power of this gem. It does more than just collect souls, and the reality gem, of course, allows him to alter scientific law. So why is Thanos doing all of this? As revealed multiple times, it's backed by his love for Mistress Death. With the collected gems, he revisits Death as if to say, look at me, look how powerful I am. He lets her and her sidekicks know that he did this to be a legitimate lover of Death instead of her slave. He loves her above all else and wants to be her equal. So Mistress grants this wish and gives Thanos a throne right next to her. But notice that Lady Death never addresses him directly. She funnels the information through her minions, and Thanos is like, why do this if I'm your mate? And the minions reveal that though he now has his throne, he ain't her equal. In fact, now he's superior to Death, and Death shouldn't address him directly because of that. Thanos, now pissed off, completely obliterates the minion right in front of Death. He's upset because this isn't how he wanted it to be. Sure, he could just force her to talk to him, but that's not what he wanted. He wants her love, not blind subservience. So even though he is successful in all of this planning, it doesn't feel like much of a victory to him. We end this story with Thanos shedding a tear, standing over the Infinity Well, and the story continues in the Infinity Gauntlet series, which we will cover, but I first must set the scene for what happens in between. So that's gonna do it for the Thanos quest. I'm doing this to not only satisfy my nerdism, but I want to give you guys backstories for the more casual fans who do not have the time to dive into these arcs, but they would like to know more about these stories and these characters. Since the Marvel Cinematic Universe is popping, especially with Thanos, this series will give you more information about the character, but will also maybe give you some ideas as to what could possibly happen in upcoming movies. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe to all of my different pages so that you can be notified when I upload videos. Until next time, y'all be easy.